Just ahead on Chapman News, on Capitol Hill today, the House votes on the Epstein files, a move that could force the Justice Department to release thousands of pages.
I'm Sophia Youngs, live outside the UCI Medical Center here right by Chapman University. Coming up, learn why over 40,000 hospital workers are out on strike.
As we head into the holiday season, we take you behind the scenes of a local production of The Nutcracker. That story plus your weather and sports coming up on Chapman News.
From Orange, California, live from Dodge College of Film and Media Arts, this is Chapman News.
Good afternoon and welcome to Chapman News. I'm Madison Miller.
And I'm Isabella Savea. Our top story today, the House has voted the release of Epstein files. Following reverse from President Trump, the House of Representatives today overwhelmingly approved a bill to release more of the Jeffrey Epstein files into public view. The Epstein Files Transparency Act orders the Justice Department to release all unclassified records tied to Epstein's federal cases, with victims' names redacted. The bill passed 427-1 with bipartisan support and comes after House investigators already released tens of thousands of pages from Epstein's estate, including emails, calendars, and contact lists. Kentucky Republican Thomas Massie has led the push after a rare public clash with President Trump over how much to release.
Well, he got tired of me winning, so he joined our side. I have no animosity toward him. I regret that it got personal for some folks, but it never has for me. It's always been about the survivors.
President Trump now says he would sign the bill if it reaches his desk after years of pushback from his own administration on releasing more files. With today's vote, the fight now shifts to how much of the Epstein files the public will get to see.
President Trump met with Saudi Arabian Crown Prince Mohammed bin Salman today in his first visit to the U.S. since 2018. According to the CIA, that year bin Salman authorized the execution of Washington Post journalist Jamal Khashoggi. Bin Salman denies he approved Khashoggi's killing. Trump dismissed questions about Khashoggi's murder, saying bin Salman knew nothing about it and, quote, things happen. The Oval Office meeting between President Trump and bin Salman comes after Saudi Arabia voted at a UN meeting in favor of Trump's Gaza peace plan. This will give President Trump oversight of Gaza, where he plans to work with a board of peace to redevelop the destroyed territory.
Here in OC, the rain has been non-stop for the last few days, but what about the rest of the country?
Let's find out from our very own Caroline Chang in studio. Caroline?
Yeah, thanks you too. The rain absolutely has been nonstop, and as we approach this Thanksgiving holiday, everyone is heading home, of course. There are close to 82 million Americans that will be taking to the road, rail, or sky. It's just one of the busiest travel times of the year. So let's take a look at what the weather has in store. I pulled this graphic from Fox Weather just this morning, and it's a look at the Thanksgiving weather preview. As you can see, we have two storm systems developing here. First one being in this plains region. As you can see, it's going to start on Monday, spreading into the southeast and potentially mid-Atlantic or northeast areas. And then meanwhile in the south, you're going to still see lots of rain and things like that, but could see some delays at Dallas and the Houston airport. And then just over here in PNW, peaking a little bit of rain, seeing a little colder temperatures, of course. But what's happening on good old Turkey Day? Well, I'll tell you just that here. As you can see, looking pretty decent overall, but in this green area, actually, we're going to see a little bit more rain, possibly a little bit more snow. That's going to be starting on Wednesday, and that can go into that morning of Thanksgiving. The exact severity, we don't know just yet, but if you're looking for the Macy's Day Parade, don't just worry about it. It's going to be pretty dry overall, so don't worry about that at all. And then, of course, let's take a look at our national weather forecast. Feeling a lot of wet weather in the West Coast, but generally, it's actually looking pretty decent across the entire country. Of course, more wet on this West Coast area. Denver at a dry 63, and then down Houston, Miami feeling those warmer temperatures, and then all the way on the east side, we've got New York feeling a 47. But I'll tell you guys a little bit more about the crazy rain that we've actually been having in California this past week, but that's it for me. I'll send it back to you guys at the desk.
Thank you, Caroline. The union representing some 40,000 UC hospital workers is on strike today.
That's right. They are protesting the lack of progress in contract talks, but UC has reached an agreement with another important union. Sophia Youngs joins us live with the story. What do you have, Sophia?
Food service workers and hospital technicians are all on strike. This is not a new development. The union has been attempting to reach a contractual agreement with the UC system for over 2 years. However, no alas. Now, another union representing nurses had planned to join these workers and to show solidarity. But the California Nurses Association canceled that plan after reaching a contractual agreement with the UC system. That contract will cover over 24,000 nurses who had maintained staffing levels that were deemed unsafe. Units were overwhelmed and patient care stretched too thin. This includes protections to limit what they call unsafe floating. That's when nurses are placed into units they are untrained for. Now, the UC system has made a comment about this, saying, and quote, "We remain hopeful and commit to working towards a fair and sustainable agreement that supports our employees and advances the university's mission to service, education, and research." I'm live at the UCI Medical Center, Sophia Youngs with Chapman News.
Thank you, Sophia. After months of pressure from advocates, the city of Garden Grove is taking steps to support immigrant families. The City Council is moving forward with plans to create an online immigration resource hub to connect residents with legal aid, know your rights information, and community services. The city previously refused to take a formal stand against the Trump administration's ICE enforcement sweeps. Local advocates say it could help rebuild trust between immigrant communities and city leaders, especially in areas where fears of deportation remain high. City officials say the hub is still in development, but it marks a new approach in how Garden Grove handles immigration issues locally.
President Trump is refusing to rule out military strikes against Mexico in his administration's targeting of drug cartels.
Did I launch strikes in Mexico to stop drugs? It's okay with me. Whatever we have to do to stop drugs. Mexico is, look, I looked at Mexico City over the weekend. There's some big problems over there. If we had to, would we do there what we've done to the waterways? You know, there's almost no drugs coming in through our waterways anymore.
Mexico's President Claudia Sheinbaum has said the U.S. cannot take military action in Mexico without her approval. Trump has not announced any direct military plan, but his administration has conducted strikes on what it claims are drug trafficking boats in the Caribbean and Pacific.
The union representing Santa Ana Police wants a local independent journalist to stop contacting its officers. Reporter Ben Camacho has been writing about the Santa Ana Police Department for the last 2 years. In August, he received a cease and desist claim from the Police Association. Camacho says he is not intimidated by that action.
I'm just doing journalism, and their people, the association, their officers, they see that as a problem. And it got to the point where my work was affecting them so much that the association had to stand up and try to do something about it.
Now, Chapman News requested comment from the Santa Ana Police Union but did not receive a response. However, the union did post a statement on its Instagram calling Camacho an online blogger with an anti-police bias.
The family of the man who wrote Charlotte's Web is pushing back after the Department of Homeland Security used the book's title for its latest immigration enforcement operation. DHS is calling the ICE crackdown in Charlotte, North Carolina, Operation Charlotte's Web. When announcing the operation on social media, Border Control Commander Gregory Bovino even quoted a line from the beloved children's story. But E.B. White's granddaughter says the name is inappropriate. In a statement, Martha White said the tone of the federal raids is the opposite of what her grandfather stood for. She says he would never support fear-mongering or masked agents entering people's homes. Since the raids began this past weekend, officials say more than 200 people have been taken into custody. There is no information as to how many of those who were arrested have criminal records. And since this is our last newscast of the semester, we want to recognize some of our seniors and thank them for all their hard work. Starting off, we have Sherahan Tahiti. Cher is a screenwriting major with a broadcast journalism minor. She's from Sheboygan, Wisconsin, and her goal is to work in screenwriting or digital journalism and develop her own scripts. We wish her luck in her future career.
1 week since the tragic passing of the Cal State Fullerton star, on and off the field. I'm Nico Schwegler, And coming up, I'll tell you more about what universities across the nation are doing to protect their student athletes while riding electric vehicles.
And a new surf park is coming to Newport Beach, but not everybody is on board. I'm Angela Hara, and I'll have more on that after the break. I'm worried about Mom.
Mom? She's fine. These the ones, right, Mom?
Yeah, groundlings.
Sweet potatoes.
Daddy, it's salty.
Some things come with age.
And some don't.
Early detection of Alzheimer's can lead to better care for your loved one. Learn the early warning signs at 10signs.org.
If you love them enough to drive an hour to cheer them on as they get beat 11-0 in the rain, then surely you'll check NHTSA.gov/the-right seat to make sure they're correctly buckled in the back seat.
Throw that ball, Diane. Woo! You got this.
Universities across America are responding to an OC college coach who wants to protect student athletes after losing one of his own.
This all comes 1 week after Cal State Fullerton soccer player died from injuries sustained in an e-scooter crash with a box truck. Our very own Nico Schwegler joins us from Cal State Fullerton with the story.
The women's soccer team and all of Cal State Fullerton is looking ahead once again after the accident involving two of its players. Lauren Turner and Ashlyn Gwynn were riding electric scooters on their way to a men's soccer game right here at Titan Stadium when they were hit and critically injured by a box truck in late September. The pair not wearing helmets when it happened. Turner passed away at the age of 19 last week. Now, for Titans head coach Damian Brown, he heads into yet another offseason. However, this time with a new mission top of mind.
When you were with Lauren, you were having an experience, and all of my experiences with her always were positive.
A rising star taken too soon. Lauren Turner's tragic passing sent shockwaves through the collegiate athletics world.
There were so many people on our campus, outside of our campus, within NCAA sports as a whole, that were reaching out and wanting to be supportive and reaching out and being supportive.
However, Coach Brown knew condolences could only do so much. So as a coach does, he drew up new tactics.
For the immediate, we asked all of our players, put your scooters away and walk. After the initial part of it, it was the idea, hey, listen, we need people on helmets. And we, as a program, made sure that every one of our players who needed a helmet, it was provided for them. I think the best way that we can do is just be the example and hopefully encourage through our positive example, encourage other people that it's the right thing to do.
And others have certainly seen that example and followed the Titans' lead.
I know at UC Irvine, at the University of Hawaii, at Cal Poly San Luis Obispo, some of my colleagues and friends across the country showed me or sent me their articles about how this was going to be a mandate for their program.
And while some things will change, others will undoubtedly stay the same.
She'll be our number 5 forever. We'll always see her as that, and we know that she'll be with us here.
After 1 month in the ICU, Ashlyn Gwynn has finally begun rehabilitation therapy that I'm told is progressing well. Coach Brown adding, we can't wait to wrap our arms around her when she comes back to us right here. Reporting from Cal State Fullerton, I'm Nico Schwegler for Chapman News.
Thank you, Nico. President Trump has repeated his threat to move the 2026 FIFA World Cup matches from cities with Democratic mayors and crime problems. That includes Los Angeles, with matches scheduled for SoFi Stadium, as well as the Bay Area, where matches are slated for Levi Stadium in San Jose.
The governors are going to have to behave. The mayors are going to have to behave. You know, in the case of California, you have a problem. You have high crime, and you have a place that just suffered great fires and everything else, and they didn't do a very good job. And if we didn't go in from the crime standpoint, you would have had a disaster. It was not going to be handled properly.
Gianni Infantino was at the president's side during the press conference, emphasizing that safety and security is the #1 priority for a successful World Cup.
Many college students seek out internships to gain professional experience, but there are scammers looking to take advantage of students. I spoke to one Chapman student about her experience. Here's her story, along with some tips on what to look out for. Going through LinkedIn looking for an internship or maybe even a post-grad job and came across a post that seemed a little fishy. Well, it's not your imagination. The Federal Trade Commission says internship scams are up 19% in the first half of 2025 compared to 2024. Gabriela Reynoso is a junior at Chapman University who was recently on the hunt for an internship.
I don't have much internship experience, so by no means am I trying to go to the huge companies. So I'm definitely trying to start small so I can get some experience.
Gabriela was on LinkedIn. She came across a listing from Signal Broadcast Network. The company set up a virtual interview with Gabriela. In an hour-and-a-half-long conversation with a recruiter, Gabriela was told the company had CIA connections and exclusive White House access. Gabriela knew something was wrong, but before she knew it, she had an offer.
I think my initial reaction was kind of just very surprised, even though I was already having this gut feeling that something was off.
The recruiter referred Gabriela to a Signal Broadcasting employee named Eric Sinati to continue with next steps. Gabriela did a quick Google search of Sinati. So who is Eric Sinati? Well, according to WHQR in Wilmington, North Carolina, he's a convicted felon with a history of attempted deception. His previous offenses include impersonating a police officer.
Right after that, I was yeah, there's no way, this is legit.
Lisa Chow, the career manager at the Chapman University Center for Career and Professional Development, says scammers are often looking for money or personal information, and it's important to always be vigilant.
A common scam that's out there is if they ask for your personal bank information and they'll wire you some money for you to make some purchases for them. And then in the end, when you try to make those purchases, you realize, hey, that check is bouncing, but then they already have your personal information at that point.
Chow says other red flags to look out for include job postings and emails, and if the company has no interaction with you before making an offer. Chapman News reached out to Signal Broadcast Network for comment and was told Sinati does not work for Signal. Sinati hosts a podcast on BBS Radio, which Signal Broadcast Network did mention in their internship offer to Gabriela. To report a scam, you can go to reportfraud.ftc.gov.
Newport Beach City Council has voted to build a new surf park.
But its proposed location, replacing part of a local golf course, comes with challenges. Our Angela Harris joins us live in studio with more.
Yeah, that's right, guys. The Snug Harbor Surf Park would create artificial waves, which surfers and those who want to learn how to surf, just like me, could enjoy year-round. But the proposal isn't favored by everybody. For one thing, it would be located close to John Wayne Airport. According to a report from LAist, the Airport Land Use Commission expressed concerns about the project prior to the council's vote, saying the area could be susceptible to aircraft accidents. The commission tells us, quote, ALUC was concerned with the city's estimate of approximately 5,000 to 10,000 spectators that could be on site during special events. The project site is located in safety zones 2, 4, and 6 for John Wayne Airport, and each safety zone has land use capability standards defined by Caltrans in the Airport Land Use Planning Handbook, end quote. The website Golf Week notes that the new surf park would mean the loss of part of Newport Beach Golf Course, described as one of just a few affordable courses in the area. On the other hand, Newport Beach City Council member Eric Wygand tells me the proposed surf park could be transformative.
They don't want to build in areas that could potentially be in, say, a crash zone, but currently there's a recreational use right now where hundreds and hundreds of people are at every single day at the exact same spot where they're practicing golf or playing golf. So I don't see an incident happening there. Air travel continues to get safer and safer. So that is more just the county moving its liability off from them and shifting it to others. But I see it as an extremely safe place, and there's already people on that site today, just as there will be tomorrow.
Yeah, and as you heard there, Weigan dismisses concerns about the park being too close to the airport. And we apologize for We apologize for those technical difficulties there. The park would be open every day from 6 a.m. to 11 p.m. and will consist of 2 large pools that can accommodate up to 72 surfers with 25 different types of waves to choose from. I didn't even know that was possible. The golf course's lease ends in 2027. Councilmember Weigan tells me they will start construction of the park soon afterward. It's expected to take about a year and a half. I'm Angela Hara reporting for Chapman News. Back to you guys.
Thank you, Angela. Dual immersion language programs, also known as DIL, promote bilingual education. DIL has increased in popularity in California over the last few years, including at a preschool and elementary levels. Our Angela Hara spoke with a preschool teacher at My First Montessori in Huntington Beach about the importance of young children learning a second language.
Every morning around 9 a.m., this is what Miss Christine's classroom sounds like. She starts her lesson plan with her students speaking Vietnamese.
I think it's important for everyone to learn, especially these young kids, because you know how our world is. We are bilingual everywhere, Vietnamese, Spanish, everywhere. So there's no hurt to learn a second language, and especially teaching these young kids for learning different languages is always important for them.
Vietnamese was introduced in the curriculum because of parent requests. Many of the students have Vietnamese heritage and speak the language at home, but there are a few who are learning it for the very first time. My First Montessori is one of about roughly 1,000 schools in California that teach dual language immersion programs. Miss Christine says that this method of teaching is popular because students get to learn about others' cultures.
You know, everyone is different, and that's important that we want to teach the kids that we are different, we are important, and we are unique.
According to California's Department of Education, the goal of dual language immersion programs is to promote high academic achievement, first and second language proficiency, and cross-cultural understanding. But for passionate teachers like Miss Christine, teaching a second language seems much more special.
The goal is to create an environment for them to love to learn and have fun learning and beyond.
Although Angie had us thinking about summer, winter is definitely coming with all of this rainfall.
And what a storm Orange County had this past weekend. Caroline, do you have any update for us on this rather damp weather?
Absolutely. Thanks, you two. The story really is rain. They think us Californians are not rain trained, and honestly, it's true. But let's get into today's forecast. Today we get a little break from all of that rain with a lot of cloud coverage, as you can see right over here. High of 60, low of 48. I was out and about all weekend, and oh my goodness, that rain was coming down cats and dogs. So I wanted to take a look at the precipitation we actually saw in those last 3 days. You can see here Orange sitting about 3.5, Fullerton a little more than that, and then Costa Mesa just a little underneath 3 inches. Now, the reason for this rain was a strong low pressure system that was brought about from the Pacific, bringing in a ton of moisture kind of down here, and then of course bringing in over here. But this is a current look at the weather radar from for the rest of today, actually, and as you can see, very little rain spots from what we've been seeing, just some sprinkling across the SoCal area, and now of course those temps are actually staying synonymous with the OC area. And you can see, if you take a look over here, we're seeing some twinning between these two cities, Westminster and Orange, staying nice and cool, and then of course these others as well, and San Clemente down there at 59. But let's take a look at our local weather forecast. As you can see here, we're getting a continued break on Wednesday, little 66, and then the rain is going to make a comeback. Oh my gosh. PM rain 62 degrees, AM and 65, but then we get a break Saturday, Sunday, nice weekend sun coming right back and approaching the most wonderful time of the year. I'd say it's the season to whip out a blanket, book, or a little candle. So that'll be it for me. My name is Caroline Chang, reporting for Chapman News.
And as our semester winds down, continuing with our senior spotlight, we have Angela Hara. She's a broadcast journalism and documentary major with a minor in Latinx studies. Angela is from Palm Springs, California. In the new year, she'll be joining KXLY Channel 4 in Spokane, Washington as a reporter. We wish you the best of luck, Angela.
My name is Ryan Kaiser. Coming up here, we'll tell you about how an OC native is hitting for the cycle as in the new Women's Professional Baseball League. That and more coming up in sports.
For decades, I've taught you everything I know. How to safely build a fire and how to control the flames. But I can only teach wildfire prevention. Only you can prevent wildfires.
Some people judge a book by its cover, and if you're not what people are looking for, you're kind of like a reject.
School, it feels like everyone's staring at me, and I'm just kind of not really a person.
It just feels hard today. Nobody was listening to me.
And I'll try to understand me more, and I'll try to do the same.
Listening is a form of love. Find ways to support your kids at sounditouttogether.org.
Those lucky pennies you find on the ground just got even more valuable. That's because the U.S. Mint has stopped making pennies. It actually cost 4 cents to make each penny, and the final coins were pressed and auctioned off last week. However, for some people, the penny still adds a nostalgic factor to purchases. We asked some Chapman students if they'll miss pennies.
I'm not going to have the whimsy in purchase anymore. There's a joy in finding a penny, or a nickel, or a quarter, and you're taking that away. You know, I'm going to the gas station and paying for that soda can with my coins.
I low-key only use Apple Pay. I low-key also don't have a physical credit card either. So genuinely all I do is pay with my phone. So it won't affect me that much.
These copper coins are still in circulation. The death of the penny is part of the ongoing transition to digital currency. So the next pennies that are found on the streets or in a coffee shop could be extra lucky, as they're now extra rare.
It's an exciting time for sports here in Orange County.
Yeah, Chapman News sports reporter Ryan Kaiser joins us now, and he has all the details. What do you have for us, Ryan?
Hi guys. The Chapman Panthers have their 5th SCIAC title after defeating the Cal Lutheran Kingsmen. Take a look.
And believe it or not, the Chapman Panthers have come back from adversity to win the SCIAC championship at home.
That's right. The Panthers won 2 of 3 title games and ultimately went undefeated in the conference. Chapman now moves to the NCAA tournament, where they will face Whitworth in Spokane, Washington on Saturday. And turning to hockey, the Anaheim Ducks are on a roll and now lead the Pacific Division standings just ahead of the LA Kings. So far this season, the Ducks have a total of 25 points. They finished last season with a total of 80 for some perspective. The LA Kings, on the other hand, have a total of 24 points. The Ducks took the division lead after last night's game, where they beat the Utah Mammoths 3-2. Next up, the Ducks will face the Boston Bruins tomorrow. And no surprise here, Shohei Ohtani has unanimously been named the National MLB MVP. That's a tongue twister, beating out the Phillies' left field Kyle Schwarber. This is the 4th time Ohtani was named his league's MVP, only the 2nd player ever to do that. Take a look at what he had to say.
Yeah, it's truly an honor. But before I say that, I wanted to just give a big shout out to Juan Soto and Schwarber. They had amazing seasons as well. It was
Last year, when Ohtani was recovering from his 2nd major surgery to his elbow, he became the first full-time designated hitter to win an MVP award. All right, and a rising baseball star here in OC has her sights set on the big leagues. That is the Women's Professional Baseball League, which is set to make its debut next year. Our Caroline Chang has the story.
I get to play on a professional baseball field? What? Who gets to do that?
right? Like just the pros.
She's in a league of her own. 22-year-old Bella Espinoza Molina is determined to be a professional baseball player. That has been unheard of for nearly 70 years since the end of the All-American Girls Professional Baseball League that spanned from 1943 to 1954. But now, the Women's Professional Baseball League is giving a platform for women like Bella to showcase their full potential.
Being surrounded by so many awesome, spectacular, talented, and just passionate women for this sport who have, in similar cases, have been told no and have persevered through that. It was just awesome to see that I wasn't the only one.
Currently attending UC San Diego and studying political science, the OC native began her baseball career at the age of 5 playing Little League. But she had a series of setbacks. She didn't make her high school team nor the USA national team despite several attempts. None of that stopped Bella.
Everybody telling me no, saying that, no, you can't do this because you're a girl. This is not the sport that you need to be playing. Why don't you play softball? Gave me kind of like that fire to be like, no, why can't I play baseball? I am good at this sport. Why are you forcing me to change into somebody I don't want to be?
At home, she has kept up her game by playing with the OC Patriots, a recreational league that plays once a week. The WPBL tryouts happened over 4 days in Washington, D.C., where over 600 women came to chase their dreams. Only 120 made it, and the journey was not easy.
I cried, honestly, seeing that congratulations, you made it past the first day. At the end of the tryouts, we got to play at National Stadium, where the Giants, they play over there.
Looking back on the journey, I asked Bella about what she would tell her younger self.
Just believe in yourself. Do what you love. You'll be able to make it far.
The draft for the Women's Professional Baseball League will be broadcast this Thursday on the WPBL's Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube channels starting at 8 p.m. Eastern. The inaugural season is set to take place next summer. This is Caroline Chang reporting for Chapman News.
What an amazing story. All right, well, that about wraps up everything for the Panther Sports Roundup. I'm Ryan Kaiser.
Thank you, Ryan. It's almost that time of year when theaters across America will be filled with fake snow and dancing candy canes as many ballet companies continue their Christmas tradition of performing the Nutcracker. Chapman News reporter Lauren Besso has more.
The Nutcracker is the most performed ballet across America and has become a holiday tradition for many. But before Clara can fly off to the land of the sweets, dancers and choreographers are hard at work for months perfecting their performances. Here in Orange County, Novu Chamber Ballet has been performing the Nutcracker since 1991, and their production is filled with history.
We've been trying to keep the history, but we have updated a few things, and some of the costumes are original. Mother Ginger's costumes are like the original costumes that we still have.
This year's Clara is following in the footsteps of her mom and her sister, who have both performed in the same show.
My older sister, Teresa, she's been dancing since she was like 3, and she's also been like a really big inspiration for me. And also my mom, she danced here when she was younger.
This studio's dancers make it look easy by opening night. However, getting this performance stage ready every year is no small feat.
It is hectic around the holidays. The rehearsals are crazy. But we kind of start in September and we go, okay, I can't believe it's time again, but we're getting ready for Christmas.
And with those rehearsals taking place during such a hectic time of year, the Nutcracker not only becomes a family tradition for those who watch, but also for those who are supporting the performers.
My husband is an incredible human being. He supported me through all the rehearsals here. He takes care of a lot of stuff that I may not have to at home, so that I can be here for the time commitment.
My parents, my grandparents, and friends. The community, like everybody like chips in to help with the costumes, like they help like give you like snacks if you forgot. Like it's just like everybody chipping in to help. The cats.
That's right, the studio even has a few cats who are eager to get in on the rehearsals. So what keeps the performers motivated to keep the show going year after year?
Knowing that I'm part of something really special that we're kind of showing to the world.
I think it's just really fun that we work on something and families get to enjoy it.
To get your tickets to see the Nutcracker this December, visit novuchamberballet.com. Reporting for Chapman News, I'm Lauren Besso.
Izzy, I'm gonna have to go see the Nutcracker. I don't even think I've ever seen it.
Really?
So I'm gonna have to go see it this holiday season. And for our last senior spotlight, but certainly not least, we have Zachary Richter, who is one of our executive producers this semester. He is a broadcast journalism and documentary major with a minor in leadership. Zach is from Fullerton, California, and he also serves as the president for the Chapman Sports Broadcast Network. Now that he's finished his degree, he'll continue working in live sports production and would like to be a technical director. Our thanks to Zach for all his hard work.
Check out more than books at your local library. Coming up, I'll talk more about what the Library of Things is right after the break.
Good afternoon. I'm Natalie Ross. And I'm Samantha Thomas.
Good afternoon and welcome to Chapman News. I'm Stephen.
Good afternoon and welcome to
this
edition of Chapman News.
Since 2010, Chapman News has been covering weather, entertainment, sports, politics, and news, broadcasting from Dodge College's Marionette Studios.
As the only live newscast in Orange County, our journalists aim to highlight local, statewide, and national communities.
We're here to provide the most accurate, engaging, and relevant news for our community.
Tune in to our nationally recognized and award-winning newscast, Chapman News.
Watch locally on Channel 6 or on our YouTube to stay updated with the latest.
Did you know you can check out a lot of more than just books at some of our local libraries? Everything from pasta makers to metal detectors are available with just a swipe of your library card. I got a chance to check out what's on the shelves at one of OC's libraries.
You usually think of books filling the endless shelves of a library, but in one section, you'll find the Library of Things, a program where you can check out a variety of household and game items.
I was on like my pasta kick when my mom and I went to the library, and I saw it and I was like, Mom, I need this. And she was like, okay. So yeah, from scratch. It was actually a lot easier than I thought, and it was just really fun.
The Library of Things is open to everyone with a library card. To check an item out, it's the same process as if borrowing a book. Items available for checkout are pictured in a special display. Take it to the front desk, and the librarian will bring the item out for you to take home.
We do hear from the community how much people appreciate being able to check out things like backpacks, board games, Chromebooks, being able to access internet, even things like outdoor garden tools, crafts, games, tools, things like that. Things that, may be out of grasp for people, especially right now when, the economy is a little bit of trouble right now for some people.
If you're looking to try something new or in need of an ukulele for your next jam sesh, visit ocpl.org for what's offered at the Library of Things near you.
If you have old gadgets, random trinkets, or just a drawer you call, why do I still have this? GameStop may have the perfect solution. The retailer is launching a Trade Anything Day next month. GameStop says on Saturday, December 6th, customers can bring in almost any item as long as it fits in a 20 by 20 inch box and trade it for store credit voucher. The company hasn't said how much credit each item will be worth, and the offer is limited to one item per person. Online, people are already having fun with the idea, suggesting trading in everything from old appliances to unused holiday gifts. The company says it hopes the event will bring more foot traffic into stores ahead of the holidays.
Apple is out with its latest iPhone update.
It's iOS 26, and so far users have mixed feelings.
The liquid glass design includes updated appearances to apps such as Messages. Users we talked to say the visual adjustments are jarring.
The control center, like when you scroll down, it's clear, and it's not like very big noticeable features, but it's features that are a little bit off-putting.
How I'm used to navigating my phone obviously has changed a lot now, which I'm not much of a fan of at the moment, but of course in a few weeks' time, I'm sure I'll get used to the new layout.
Yeah. Says the current model is crafted to make communicating easier and more aesthetically appealing. But it seems only time and technology will tell if liquid glass is here to stay or just another trend.
When you walk around college campuses across America, it seems like everyone is on their phone, but a new nationwide movement is encouraging students to put their devices away and connect face-to-face. Chapman News reporter Blair Henry tried going phone-free for a day and found out whether unplugging is as hard as it seems.
On the Chapman campus, students on their screens are everywhere. Walking to class, studying in the union, even sitting with friends. Students are connected to their devices nearly all day. However, across the country, some are taking part in an experiment called the Reconnect movement, where students put away their devices and socialize face-to-face. I spoke to Dr. John Hunter, a professor of psychology at Chapman, about how phones may be getting in the way of real connection.
People, well, they're not talking before class. You come into class and people sit down, no one is interacting with each other. You don't know the person who's sitting next to you because you're all on your phones, and you don't have the time to meet a stranger to do other things with them.
I wanted to know what a day without my phone would look like. No texting, scrolling, or checking notifications. So I'm putting my phone away. And I'm not taking it back out until tonight. It's only been around an hour, and I've already checked my pockets more times than I can count. Lunch definitely feels strange without my phone. Normally I'm texting, sending emails, or scrolling on social media. But without my phone, I actually have to sit here with my own thoughts. But throughout the day, I began to notice more and more. People going about their days, conversations happening around me, and I'm also not comparing myself to everyone else's perfect life online.
Right? So often, when we're in these little in-between moments of life, we fill them by looking at our phone. You look up, you connect with others around you. Realize, make new friends, strengthen your relationships you already have, realize the ups and downs and all arounds of all the other humans who are around, and it makes you feel more connected.
For many students, phones are a lifeline to classwork, social life, and communication. But for a certain number of young people, stepping away from the digital world, even briefly, is helping them to feel more connected. After a full day of being unplugged, yes, I was excited to get my phone back. But it made me realize how deeply ingrained my habits are, and how rare it is for me to be fully and truly offline. And on campuses across the country, more and more students are wondering, what would happen if we looked up from our phones? For Chapman News, I'm Blair Henry.
Wow, I think I might have to take a little bit of a break from my phone.
Me too.
And well, that's all we have for this semester of Chapman News. I'm Isabella Savea.
And I'm Madison Miller. Thanks for watching, and we'll be back in 2026. We hope you'll continue to follow us on social media.